Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about the book The Incredible Hulk What Savage Beast by Peter David. It came out in 1995. And this is going to be a somewhat short video because I don't really want to tell you a whole lot about this book because I don't want to spoil it. Let me just tell you what I think about this book. This book is absolutely one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. It is absolutely incredible. The pun was intended. This book is amazing. I love it. Absolutely phenomenal. Everything about this book is great. Fantastic. I really like this book a lot. I went into this book not a big fan of the Hulk. As a matter of fact, I was even questioning getting this book because I never really cared that much about the Hulk. I didn't have anything against the Hulk. I actually like the Hulk movies. A lot of people don't like the Hulk movies. I enjoyed the Hulk movies. I think that there's some credit that needs to be given to the Hulk movies. But the Hulk is a character, I never had anything against him. I just didn't think he was that interesting of a character. And boy, was I fucking wrong. The Hulk is awesome. And this book truly turned me into a Hulk fan. It converted me. And I'm so glad I read this. I'm so glad I didn't skip it up. This book is incredible. Just so good. I learned a lot about the Hulk. There's a lot of things I didn't know. For example, Bruce Banner had multiple personality disorder before the Gamma Bomb hit him. So, the Hulk is just a manifestation of one of those personalities. Also, there are two versions of the Hulk. There's the Green Hulk, and then there's the Gray Hulk. The Gray Hulk didn't really appear very much in this book, or at all. They just kind of mentioned him. So I don't know a whole lot about the Grey Hulk, but I know that he's kind of like an in-between of Bruce Banner and the Green Hulk. He's not as strong as the Green Hulk, but he's smarter than the Green Hulk. So, in some ways, he can be more challenging for opponents than the Green Hulk because he's strong, but he's also clever. So he's smart and he can kind of think of alternative ways around a solution rather than just being a brute, a juggernaut, you know? I also learned that the Hulk gets bigger and stronger the angrier he gets. And in this novel, the Hulk is at a point in his life where he lives as the Hulk full-time, and it's Bruce Banner's brain in the Hulk. He went to a therapist, Doc Samson, who I found out is a very important character to the Hulk and is in a lot of his stories. I never knew about him before. He was a cool character to learn about, but he's a therapist who turned Hulk into the Hulk full-time, but with Bruce Banner's brain. And he's at a point in his life where the angrier he gets bigger, but then he has a limit point where he will revert back into Bruce Banner, but with the Hulk's brain. It's kind of funny, actually, having some angry Hulk, but in a weak, puny, quote-unquote, human body, you know. It's kind of a funny part of the book. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I learned about the Hulk, and it's not... You know, the Hulk and Bruce Banner were kind of always one for me. But now it's the Hulk and Bruce Banner are such different characters with their own, emotions and stories and just different facts about them. It really is two characters. Like I said, they didn't really go into a whole lot about the Grey Hulk in this book, but I'd be interested in learning more about him as well. This book is just fantastic. I only have two criticisms of it. Just two criticisms. The first one doesn't really apply to the book, the contents of the book, but the cover artwork on this book is absolutely atrocious. It's some of the most hideous shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Whoever approved this, they need to be slapped in the face. I don't know if this book ever got a re-release that changed the cover artwork. I really hope it did, because the cover artwork that's on my book is horrible. And I don't know how well this book sold. From what I hear, Peter David's a pretty popular author, so hopefully it sold decently. But if this book sold bad, you know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but the truth is that everyone does, especially when it's a book they don't know about. But if this book didn't sell very well, I guarantee it's because of the cover. The cover to this book is hideous. Even for the 90s, it's bad. It is just so bad. The Hulk on the cover of the book doesn't even look like the Hulk in the illustrations in the book. It's so bad. Oh, man. It's so bad. I can't believe that they went with that cover artwork. All right, so that was just my first complaint. Not a big one, because it's not about the contents of the book, but I'm giving you a heads up. You should read this book. I recommend that you do, but you're going to look at the cover and you're going to be like, oh my god, this is horrible. This doesn't look like a book I want to read. It's worth it, believe me. Second thing I wanted to mention, and this really isn't a criticism. This is more of a... Gosh, I don't even know what to say about it, but this book is so good, and the intensity is so high that I had to take a break at this point. The book is split up into 3 parts. The second part... One thing I forgot to mention about this book, it is super fucked up. One of the most fucked up books I've ever read in my entire life. Granted, I read a lot of children's books, so I don't really get a whole lot of fucked up books in my life. But this book is seriously fucked up, especially for a superhero story. And, like, they didn't really swear a whole lot in here, so obviously they were like... I would imagine that there were some restrictions that Marvel may have put on this, saying, like, you know, you can't swear or have too much gore in the action, but this book is really fucked up. There's some really seriously fucked up shit that happens in this book. It's amazing. It's awesome. But part 2 of the book is so intense and just so messed up in the things that happen that when part 3 happens in the book, I just had to put it down for the day. And it wasn't that I wasn't interested in reading anymore. I just seriously needed a break, because part 2 happens. It's this super intense, really emotional part of the book. And then part 3 happens, and it just fucking keeps going, man. But it's in a, like, jarringly different direction. And like I said, this isn't really a bad thing, because part 3 of the book is 100% necessary to the story. We needed part 3 to answer a lot of questions and kind of get a good conclusion to the story. But it's just jarringly, like... a jarring change of pace. And it keeps the intensity up, and it's just like, oh my god, what's happening? That I read part 2 and I just put the book down for the day. I was like, I need a break, and then I picked up the book again the next day and I finished it because it was so good. But between part 2 and part 3, I really needed a break. They should have just put like 10 blank pages in there, just to let you kind of consume and think about what was going on in part 2, so that you could ready yourself for part 3. I think 10 blank pages would have helped a lot. But man, this book, it is so good. So many twists and turns. Gosh, there's a lot I want to say in this video, but I really don't want to ruin the story because it's that good. If you are a fan of anything, if you are a human, you need to read this book because it is so good. So good. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching my video. Go read this book, however you can get a copy of it. I don't know if it's on e-readers. I got this paperback on Amazon for a penny plus shipping and handling, so it's hella cheap. Go read this book. It's fantastic. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. I'll see ya in the next one.